This is ELH 4x4 doing stuff. Today we're working on my 1976 Corvette Stingray because we've reached 100 subscribers. So this is a celebration video, which is kind of ironic because what I'm dealing with is a aftermarket rear anti-roll or anti-sway bar that has some manufacturing defects. I'm not going to say where I got it from, but what I will say is if you want... No, I'm not even going to say that. Anyway, it's given me the feeling of self-accomplish in fabricating my own anti-sway bar with all the stuff that I've had to deal with. So, come on along. Alright, so we'll go over some of the hardware that it came with. I mean, it is a decent kit. That's a 3/4 inch sway bar. Polyurethane bushings. Polyurethane end-link bushings. Nice nice grade bolts, right? All right. So I'll show you what I'm dealing with. You see that? How the bolt holes are tapped on an angle, right? These things go in the trailing arm, right? They slip up underneath. And then these are nice contoured. I'm sure they didn't intend to do that. But if they did, it makes it actually fit on top of the trailing arm nicer. But, you know, it's manufacturing processes like this that make this install awesome, right? I mean, look at the angle that those bolts are tapped into the plate. Also, I had to cut a section of this plate off because it sits too far back into the trailing arm where it'll hit the spindle. And if you have it going the other way, that's where the bushing, the end-link bushing goes. It comes out and it'll hit the bushing. So you have to... I did. I'm not saying you have to. I had to cut on both of these plates some of the metal off. All right. I actually had to tap the holes to make the bolts fit in better. The Zerk fittings inside this bracket were screwed in on an angle, so they're not perfectly straight. 5/16 by 18 thread is what I had to use for the factory bolt holes in the frame. These are existing. I didn't have to drill or tap. I just chased the threads out after a couple of years of buildup, right? So 5/16 by 18. Clean these threads out. All right, let's start with the process here. You know what I failed to mention? No instructions. Okay? This bar is contoured. So we'll have to figure out which way it goes because the spare tire fits up in this area, the carrier. So we'll figure that out when we get there. I looked online, of course there was nothing. I went to the website, of course there was nothing. Comments about this sway bar said that they had to modify, but other than that it was perfect, right? If it was perfect, you don't have to modify it. Nothing's really perfect, honestly. But, you know, tapping holes on an angle, that's not cool. So, we have to figure out. It's a lot of guesswork. I kind of pre-assembled this to figure out what I needed to do to fix it, to alleviate a lot of the installation process issues. And that way I can put it together and speak somewhat intelligently about what's going on. That way you guys don't have to go through the same nonsense that I went through. But like I said, you have this feeling of like an accomplishment of fabricating your own sway bar mounting hardware. So if you're into that stuff, you know, there you go. But I do this so you don't have to. So this, I don't know what that is. I just assume that the washers and the nuts went with it, and I don't know what it is. It's not used. All right. Let's get this stuff installed onto the trailing arm. You may have to bend the line up out of the way. All right. So this plate will fit in there, and kind of move it in such a way where the bolts, the hardware, fits inside of it with no issue. There was two pre-existing holes up in the trailing arm. The thing I don't like about this kit is if you have to, for whatever reason, do anything with the leaf spring bolt, you have to disassemble the lower sway bar mounting hardware to get the bolt out, because the bolt will come out through a hole. Anyway, so knowing that the bolts are tapped on an angle, we're going to have to kind of put the plate in on an angle to thread it. That's where the first I like literally could have put it on a time lapse and still wouldn't have been able to install it. I was getting so frustrated. Okay, so you get the point, right? Okay, you just put the bolts in there. You don't need to see me, well, unless anyway, yeah. So through the magic of editing, this will be finished. All right, so the other side, right? Same thing. Tapped in there crooked. All right, what are we looking at? Okay. Banana shaped mounting bracket, large hole, rear of the trailing arm, washer and a bolt, and then we kind of figure out how the plate sits before we thread it in. You can kind of thread the front one in first so you can somewhat line it up. Maybe, maybe not. All right, and the torque specs are in the instructions. All right, so this is what we're dealing with. Okay, this sway bar is contoured. But if we leave it like that, it may hit the spare tire holder. So I'm assuming that if you put the contour so it's facing up, you kind of sit up there a little bit tighter. All right, can you see that? Yeah. But I'm sure in the descriptions and the instructions, it gives a precise, detailed explanation of exactly how the sway bar goes. Okay. All right, so we'll bring this thing back down. And, well, maybe not. Let's see if we can use a screwdriver to open up. Only because it's in celebration of 100 subscribers am I putting myself through this nonsense. So all right, see, that wasn't that bad. It even has a little hole for the grease fitting. That's nice. I'm sure it'd be a lot easier if I would have did it on the ground, but I don't feel like getting up and getting down. Just out of sheer laziness. You guys look at that. Okay. All right. Go. All right. You just loosen the bolt up just enough. There's enough thread to hold it up so you don't have to completely let it down. go. We'll leave it loose enough to where we can line up the end links, which when I tried doing a pre-assemble, I could not get the bottom bushing what are you guys looking at? Okay, couldn't get the bottom bushing on. These washers are cupped. Where are we at? Right here. So I may have to jack the leaf up to move the trailing arm. All right. No, maybe not the leaf spring. It's totally not shady at all. All right, I gotta find a better jack point. Well, I guess I can find it in real time, huh? Something real shady. That's good enough. Nine sixteenths. Okay, have a thread sticking out. All right, let's get over to the other side. So cupped washer, bushing with that little raised area. It was up there first. And then bushing with that raised area facing up. Cupped washer. Spacer. Cup washer. Bushing. Wow. And I guess we gotta move the jack over. Okay, now I'm hiding stuff on myself. In real time. Oh, yeah, there's that. Okay. Just a little bit more. Okay. There we go. All right. Now, we have to tighten these up now. Right, and the torque specs and the instructions will tell you how tight you go. All right, I'm gonna tighten this other side up. Yeah, can you see that? Maybe not. Okay, now I'm going to go get the spare tire carrier and see how that fits all up in there, and if it doesn't, I'm gonna scream. Not really. If I do, it'll be off camera. All right, stand by. All right, this is the upper carrier. Two bolts that hold that in. Well, yeah, so there you have it. We're confirmed that that contoured part of the sway bar goes up, and it clears it magnificently. Yep. Okay. All right. Thanks for joining me on installing a rear sway bar, aftermarket rear sway bar for 1976 Corvette C3, so 68 up to 82 Corvette. Yeah, thanks for all the subscriptions. 100. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the likes. And if you drop a comment, I will try to get on the computer and hit you up. But don't be shy. Leave a comment. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day.